This lesson is called function notation, so let's get right to the definition. A function is a set of ordered pairs in which each x-coordinate has exactly one y-coordinate associated with it. So all equations are what we call relations, but functions are special ones that each input has exactly one output. So the domain and range of a function. The domain are all the x values that work in the function, and the range are all the y values of the function. Now, we are going to do two things. We're going to determine whether something's a function and list the domain and range. So, here we go. Part A, we have 3 points. 2 maps to 5, -2 maps to 4, and 2 also maps to 0. Well, the 2 input has 2 outputs, so this is not a function. Now, the domain of this, even though it's not a function, it is a relation. And we can say the domain of the relation is -2, 2, because those are my inputs, and my range is 0, 4, 5. So even though it isn't a function, I can still list the domain and range of the relation. Let's do the next one. 0 maps to 0, -2 maps to 4, and 2 also maps to 4. This is slightly different because each input has exactly one output. Here, this input had 2 outputs. So it doesn't matter, the outputs could be the same all the time if they wanted, as long as each input mapped to one output. So this is a function. And the domain is going to be 0, -2, 2, and the range is going to be 0 and 4. Now let's do a graphical representation of the points in example 1. 2a, recall that the points were 2, 5, -2, 4, and 2, 0. So let's graph them. 2, 5, -2, 4, and 2, 0. Notice how these 2 points are stacked. We never want the points stacked along up and down here. So we can see this is not a function. The other points for part B were 0, 0, -2, 4, and 2, 4. So 0, 0, -2, 4, and 2, 4. We can see that although these guys are across from each other, they're not stacked in an up and down fashion. So this is a function. Now we're going to do something called the vertical line test. It's nice because we can look at a graph and decide whether it's a function or not. Here's the key. If I can draw a vertical line and it hits the graph at most once, then I know it is a function. This one's really great. It's a function. Nothing is stacked. There's no stacking going on. However, here look at the stackness of it all. It hits these guys twice in many places. So this is not a function. If your vertical line hits it more than once, hits the graph more than once, bam, it's not a function because stackness, and we don't want that. Now let's talk about an algebraic representation. It's kind of cool, you guys. We're used to seeing things like y is equal to x take away 7 like this. Now we're going to look at this relationship. This says f of x is equal to x minus 7. F means a function of, just a function and then of x. And what it is it's telling you that 3 in this case is your input, and it's begging you to get the output. So here's the deal. Using this function, I am going to put 3 everywhere I see an x. So f of 3 is equal to -4. So what does that mean? When my input is 3, I get out -4. Cool? And what is the cool thing about this, you guys? The cool thing is you can see your input and your output in the same sentence. Now, this doesn't mean f times 3. It means a function of what is the value of the function when x is equal to 3. Now let's do the next one. What is the value of the function when x is equal to -1? So here's my function, and I'm going to put in -1 everywhere I see an x. So f of -1 is equal to -8. Here's my input. Here's my output. Cool? Now what about f of 0? Same thing. Use the same guy. So I'm going to put in 0 everywhere I see an x. The value of the function when x is equal to 0 is -7. So we say f of 0 is -7. What's my input? 0. What's my output? -7. Let's try a couple more of these before I send you off to do your lesson on this. So I'm going to put 1 this time. This guy's my function. I'm going to put 1 in for x. The value of the function at 1, I use my jailbird parentheses, square the 1 first. So f of 1 is equal to 9. What's my input? Everybody? Input is 1. Output is 9. Let's do this next one. I like the negatives in there, especially when we have squared stuff. So what am I popping in for x? -5. Don't be lazy. Make them in a prison. Okay, put them in prison there. -5 times -5 is a positive 25. 10 take away 25 is -15. So f of -5 is equal to -15. Input, -5. Output, -15. Now, using all this information, you can do the assignment associated with this lesson. Good luck, ask questions, stay strong, do the math.